Master of Ceremonies, this is Steve. This is Maggie's Uncle Steve. He loaded all this stuff in a van, drove from Wisconsin to California just to entertain us tonight. Let's hear it for Steve. Anyway, I'm Dave Olbrich. I'm Lori's husband. I'm John and Celia's son. I'm the father of the bride. So I want to say some words, as is the tradition for these things. But first of all, I want to thank all of you for coming. The amazing show of affection and support that you're showing for Maggie and Ryan. And now we're all family. So thank you so much. I know a lot of you have come a long way, and we appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys have given up your evenings, and thanks. So welcome to the family. I need to say some special thank yous. Thank you to Javier, wherever you are. You're right back there. I see you, buddy. Thank you, Javier, for a beautiful, beautiful ceremony, dude. You can't imagine the number of compliments I heard from everybody. Great job. And I also need to say thank you to Katie. I don't know where she's hiding, but Katie is our wedding coordinator, and she's worked so hard for us to make this a successful evening. So thank you, Katie. And my last special thanks go to Ron and Randy Huddleston, Ryan's parents. How about a big round of applause for those two people right there? Beautiful rehearsal yesterday. Thank you so much, you guys. Welcome to the family. So it's going to be fun tonight. So the whole theme for tonight is fun and laughter. So I'm not really, I got a terrible memory, but oh, crimey. Oh, Lori, you know what? I left my notes for this speech. Can you bring those over to me? Hey, a round of applause for the mother of the bride. This is my lovely wife, Lori Olbrich. As much as you guys really deserve to hear all of this, I think I'll stick with the short version if that's okay. But I'm definitely going to read it because my memory is terrible. I got the memory of a geriatric goldfish. If I can get it out of my pocket, that would be a major advantage to this one. All right. So here we go. So this is gonna come. Hold no. Give you. Here's my paper clips, honey. Thank you.
Classic Maggie.
So this is gonna come as a surprise to no one. I'm a really emotional guy, and I'm a nerd. Maggie once caught me crying at the end of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So as much as I'd like to make it through this whole thing without crying, I apologize in advance to anybody who took the 100 to 1 odds against it. I apologize, you're probably gonna lose that bet tonight. If I mention how much fun and how many laughs we're gonna have tonight, I have, great. All right, so the reason for all this, the bride and groom, my beautiful daughter Maggie and her handsome husband Ryan, who looks a little bit like David Tennant, don't you think? Pee Wee Herman? All right. All right, so for those of you that aren't familiar with the story, I met Maggie many, many years ago in a hospital. Lori and I have been preparing to meet her for months, but it wasn't really fair the way it worked out, but I got to see her first. So Lori looked up at me and asked me, and I said, how's she doing? And I said through my tears, honey, she's beautiful. She looks just like a frog. So everybody told us how much fun it was. Everybody told us how much it was going to cost and how much sleep we were going to lose and how much work it was going to be to raise a young child. But nobody told us how much fun we were going to have. Sure, it was a challenge, okay, but so much fun and so much laughter. And to this day, Maggie is, Ryan, what's the word? Dramatic? She's a little dramatic. Extra, okay. She was like that since she was very young and very small. Once the whole family was sitting around in the living room watching television, I was on the couch, and Lori was in the recliner nearby, and Maggie toddled up to me, she's a little tiny Maggie, she toddles up to me, and she asked me for something she couldn't have, and when I said no, she started to cry. And when I say cry, that's a grotesque understatement. My sobbing daughter toddles over to her mother, and Lori looks at her and says, Maggie, what's wrong? And Maggie looked up at her and through her tears said, Daddy kicked me in the head. Having witnessed the whole thing, Lori said, "No, he didn't, Maggie." And in that moment, Maggie, the actress, was born. And she hollered back at her mom, "Yes, he did." She was always dressing up and doing shows and dressing up like her favorite character, Babs Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures.
Wow! Babs!
So Maggie grew up liking many of the nerdy, geeky things I liked, and from the wedding, you can pretty much tell what that's like. So I'm so proud that Ryan, that Maggie found you, a nerd to share her life. I think that's awesome. You guys can go to comic book conventions together and watch the gorgeous lasers wrestling on long weekends, right? And when I say, it's nice, you know, when I say Tony and Steve got into a fight, you know it's a comic book reference. And when I say, hey, I couldn't be happier if they were based on real grades, you know it's a 90s chick flick reference. But Ryan, seriously, a Cowboys fan? Don't worry, I'll forgive you for that someday. I'm also so grateful and happy that you're going to be the man of the house, protecting Maggie and taking care of my grandbabies. Now, in case unless the spider attack, then it's every man for himself. I totally get that. I can live with that. So I told Maggie a long time ago that she couldn't be with anybody that didn't find her funny. If he doesn't laugh, he's not for you. Well, Ryan, let me tell you, Lori and I are so pleased and proud that you were the man that made her laugh. And I know that sounds like the description of a Doctor Who companion. But Ryan, you should know that Lori and I think that Maggie could not have picked a better man. And Maggie, you couldn't have picked a better man for us to call son. Welcome to the family, Ryan. And just so that I don't forget later, let me say how much we love your family, Ryan. Your mom and your dad, Rhonda and Randy, and your sister and brother-in-law. We've spent long weekends together and gone to the movies and the holiday stuff. It's really been fun. We feel like we hit the jackpot, so thank you, you guys. Welcome to the family as well. Mags, you need to know that your mom and I are so proud of the strong and beautiful one you've become. My only wish is we could turn back the clock and do it all over again. I told you I wasn't going to make it. From trips to Disneyland to Southern California Children's Theater, from High School Musical show production to your short-lived. Who are you crying at over here? What is going on?
Nothing.
I love you guys.
Love you too, sweetheart. To Maggie had a short career as a high school pole vaulter, so there's that. From Cal State Northridge to Moore Park College, from your internship at Marvel Studios, woo, to your job working with famous actors in Hollywood, and then your brave and fierce decision to leave it all behind and go to school, get your master's, and fulfill your dream of helping people. Yeah, we can applaud for that, right? Yeah. So one of the greatest thrills a parent could have is the secure knowledge that you've raised a strong and independent adult. Maggie, you're all of that and more. Your mom and I could not imagine life without you, and you've made our life better in so many, many ways. You both need to know we find your love inspirational. There's a gleam in your eye when you're together, and better yet, there's a gleam in your eye when you're apart. Like when you're talking about each other, there's just a gleam in your eye. Your happiness is both obvious and infectious. And remember, marriage is a multifaceted adventure that provides many blessings. So share your joys, share your burdens, be true to one another, speak well of each other, even if you're not in the same room. Love's not enough. You gotta have faith and patience and generosity. Like a good tag team, say the Heart Foundation or the Road Warriors, you've gotta have each other's back. And you've gotta have fun, and you've gotta have laughter. So now, everyone, please raise your glasses and a toast to the newly minted Maggie and Ryan Huddleston, husband and wife. May forgiveness, empathy, patience, teamwork, love, and laughter be the hallmarks of your marriage. We love you.
I'm drinking